Hi, thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. I'm back at Long Lake the next week, and I just fished the back pond to Long Lake and the inlet creek that goes in for Patreon, and I had to do it left-handed. I blew out my arm yesterday fishing that creek on YouTube that goes into South Lake, so it's left-handed today. And it's not a big deal, you know. I just gotta learn to do it. Me fishing left-handed is just an example of a dummy who overused his right hand, so his left arm is all he's got left. Now I'm gonna go down and check out the inlet area to Long Lake and fish that a little bit and just see what's down there. I'm fishing a short leader, about 6 feet because it's windy and I need the extra control for my left hand. And I'm using this larger bead head to start with. And if it doesn't work, I can always go with a longer leader. I can always make adjustments. But I'm gonna start with what's easy. A bigger nymph, short leader. Let's go. And here's the back of Long Lake. And I had only fished the very front of it. I'm right-handed, but I've always batted left-handed when I play baseball and softball. And I thought maybe that would help with fishing, but it doesn't. It's just like I'm trying to write my name with my left hand. It's no good. The first thing you want to do whenever you fish an inlet is fish the water that's really close to the water coming in. Now this isn't going to be pretty, but I caught a bunch of fish this morning. Let me see what's over there. Oh, he hit it. There we go. There we go. And the first problem I have is I'm always reaching for my rod with my right hand after I set the hook. But there's always fish cruising in this zone back here. Let me get my hands wet. Take a look. There's a nice, beautiful wild rainbow. And he was just hanging out in that water. There he goes. Back out there. And it's really hard for me not to automatically go to my right hand. And I just threw it out in that current a little bit. And he picked up that nymph. See, before I worry about whether or not they're gonna bite the bigger nymph, I'm first gonna use it and see. And he was all over that thing, man. Always live action back in that inlet. Right-handed, left-handed, don't matter. They're back here. I get my hands wet on the net. There we go. Nice little rainbow, little guy. Get him back in the water. Whew, there you go. Zoom. And there's that nymph again. The first couple fish I saw just outright ignored it. But you know, you always find those ones that are gung-ho. So now I'm just standing up. And I'm trying to figure out a good casting lane where I can get a little distance without catching. And I'm whipping, I'm throwing this thing like a bullwhip. I'm struggling, but I'll get it out there. And there's fish all over out here. So I can see there's a pretty nice fish sitting right in the front of this pool. Oh. And he didn't even look at my fly. I dropped it right in front of him too. And he's totally afraid of me. All right, the wind's at my back for the moment. So let's try to get this out here without making too much noise. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I got a pocket full of net here. And I just threw it right up below it beyond that drop. Oh! There we go. Set my rod down. Get my hands wet. That was a nice one. I just realized I didn't even hold it up. I just let him go. It drops off pretty quick, so it stands to reason there's gonna be fish out there just chilling and waiting for the stream to deliver them food. And that's the pattern I'm fishing right here. Straight up and down. There we go. Oh, they're hitting this heavy fly. And I'm just watching the end of my line. And it's just, there's gonna be a lot of fish out in an area like this. And the wind is momentarily at my back, so that's helping a lot. A little bit more of the patience game on this one. I let it sink down a little bit more than I have been. Oh, this is a brookie. There we go, nice little brookie. So I'm letting it sink a bit, and then I start to retrieve. And I've gotten a lot of hits already. When you have shallow water like this, a lot of times you never know how they're gonna react. Sometimes they go for it. Other times they just they freak out when that big nymph hits the water. I keep grabbing my rod with my right hand. I gotta stop it. No right hand today. And you never know how they're gonna respond. A lot of them just run away, while other times they just attack it. But it's really shallow over here, so it's really hard to predict what they're gonna do. Let's see what that guy's doing. Oh, I already spooked him. I spooked him before I even casted. It's hard to fish this shallow stuff. This is what I was fishing all morning for Patreon. It was just this shallow, crystal clear. Now over there, it's really steep and deep. And I think we're gonna go give that a try. I was coming in, I saw that there was this deeper section along this rocky area, and it just drops off deep. It's very hard to fish with bead heads that are plopping down when the water's only a foot deep. So I just want to make a couple casts into this where I let my nymph sink way down there before I start retrieving it, and just see what's lurking out there. Ugh. Oh, he was circling it. He just didn't want to get it. He was circling it, man. He was looking at it. They got a lot of time to look at these nymphs, and that's why I give it that pop, because sometimes that can initiate the strike. Lakes is hit or miss, man. It's like, you know, some fish will just swim by and not even look at it. And other fish like this guy and the guy that I just missed a strike on will swim right up and just nail it. Let me get my hand wet on the net. So there he is. There's a fly like stuck to him. There's a nice rainbow. Get him back out there. And I'm just throwing it into this deep water. I'm not even throwing it out that far. I'm just throwing it right where it drops off. I'm letting it sink a little bit, and fish are finding it really quick. And there's a lot of fish in this section, because I've had a couple of fish just come right away. Whenever you have bushes hanging over the water like this, always give it a shot. Whip it out and then try to get your stuff to cruise along the bushes, because there'll be fish in these bushes, and a lot of times they'll come out and grab it. Now, of course, nothing came out and grabbed anything because I was filming. A lot of fish, and I say it over and over, a lot of fish will want nothing to do with it. They won't even turn. Other fish will just attack it like it's their last chance to eat ever. And they better take advantage of it now. Ooh, there's one circling it right now. He's trying to decide. Oh, he's swimming away. There was one, I could see him down there deep. I could see him flashing as he was circling it. And that's what they do a lot, and they just got to make that decision. The right decision is to bite. That's the right decision as far as I'm concerned. Curiously enough, the brookies don't seem to be so excited about this thing. They're looking at it, but they're not attacking it like the rainbows are, and it's usually the reverse of that. Again, it's just the rainbows, and usually it's the reverse of that. And I let this nymph just sink down, and I'll show you what I was doing after I let this guy go. There we go, nice little wild rainbow. Getting back out there to do his thing. For this guy, I threw it out, and I let it sink a ways. And I let it really get down there. And that nymph sinks really fast, because it's big, which is by design. And it's hard to see a strike when it's sinking like that. But once you start moving it, you learn to recognize what it looks like when your line's going in the other direction. It can be hard to tell in the wind. I'm not gonna lie, it can be difficult. But I have several clips on my backcountry lakes and creeks playlist where I do that fishing where I let this thing go all the way down until my line's almost pointing downward. And it's just another way that I've learned to use nymphs over the years effectively. Ooh, I just saw one reject it. He followed it. But apparently he was too good. Well, that's going to do it for this exploration of the back end inlet area of Long Lake. So between last week and this week, I saw bigger fish in the front end of the lake for whatever reason. Maybe I just couldn't see as good because the wind was choppy, but I saw a lot nicer fish on that other end. But, you know, I got a couple decent fish, and it was fun. And like I said, I don't know, usually the rainbows are more suspicious, but I was using this big beadhead, and when I throw it in the water, it just plops down. And when I was trying to fish the shallow stuff in between here and the inlet, it was I'd throw this thing in and it would go plop, and then the fish would just scatter. So I hope you enjoyed this almost bonus footage because I had no intent of doing this. I'm going to go hike up to the lake right above here. I'll show the short hike and see if we can catch some fish there. So hope you enjoyed this. I sure did. I always have fun fly fishing, catching fish, even if I have to do it left-handed. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Lamani. Until next time.